GTM Podcast Buddhist Knowledge Blessing 11 Part 2. Hello everyone. You are listening to GTM Podcast on Buddhist Knowledge series. From the previous episode, we learned the importance of why should we support our parents. And today, gonna talk about appreciating our debt of gratitude to our parents, which is something that need to be clarified because in some culture, the way of showing gratitude or understand in its norm may be quite different. Thus, it is quite important to be remarked on. If you have not listened to the previous episode just yet, we suggest you go back and listen to them first before you continue. Now, let's begin appreciating our debt of gratitude. Why must we have gratitude in our lives? We didn't get where we are today entirely by our own efforts. We are the result of considerable investment of food, care, protection, training, and teaching by others. All these resources have come to us through the pure intentions of others in society. Intentions without which our civilization would soon collapse. It is not that people have helped us because they want something from us in return. But if we, who have been on the receiving end of such altruism, are able to appreciate, return, or praise the favors they have done us, it will help to create an atmosphere of give and take in society instead of deterioration into every man to himself. The appreciation of good deeds is very important to Buddhist culture, and cherish our parents is our first and most fundamental opportunity to express gratitude. Theories of non-gratitude to parents. Where sons and daughters neglect their parents, often it is not intentional, but because of having received influence from some of the theories rife in our society, none of which are entirely true. 1. Selfish genes. Some people think that the only reason that parents are kind to their children is they want to see their character and genes passed down to the next generation. These theories have even led to a genetic theory called the selfish gene by Dawkins. It is proposed that man is nothing more than a mechanism by which genes replicate themselves. In such a case, parents don't show kindness to their children out of compassion, but out of the selfish desire to propagate their own genes. If such a theory were really true, if you were walking down the street with 4 brothers who were all identical twins, with all at least half of the same genes as you have, then you would rather that yourself were eaten by a monster in order to protect the greater part of your genes, depending on the safety of your 3 brothers. Such theories have their limitations because they cannot explain why such traits as homosexuality, which hamper the replication of genes, might grow and spread in the population. The practical outcome of this theory is that instead of thinking to repay their parents for all the good things they have received, they think that they are bringing their parents fulfillment by bringing up grandchildren for their parents. This is logic equivalent to borrowing money from a bank to open a new business and paying back the loan to your customers. Instead of thinking how best to look after their poor parents, most children spend their time thinking how best to get themselves a boyfriend or girlfriend to look after for the rest of their life instead. 2. Hereditary sin. Some philosophies of life, such as those advocated by the Unification Church, monisms, go further to suggest that all the bad things in our life are passed down to us by our parents, and therefore only by abandoning your parents and marrying into their religion can you escape from sin. Such thinking has led to many broken families and accusations of kidnapping and brainwashing. 3. Patricide cults. Some philosophies of life, such as those found in some African tribes, are even more destructive for the family. Only a boy who is brave enough to kill his own father is eligible to become the chief of the tribe, because it is taken that only such a person is cruel and brave enough to lead a tribe. Although our thoughts about our parents might not be so serious as some of the theories mentioned, sometimes we find it hard to really comprehend how much our parents have done for us. Superficially, we think that the good our parents have done for us is easy to describe, but in fact, we don't look very deep. Many people are confused as how the debt of gratitude to our parents could possibly be as large. Just thinking of how they have brought us up and how they have fed and schooled us surely could not add up to such a large debt. However, we should try our best to look for that goodness, because if you can see the good in other people who have done so much for you, don't expect to be able to see any of the good or positive things that arise in yourself as a result of your meditation. How a child is in debt to his parents. Of all the people in the world, there is no one closer to us than our own mother and father. Why should we choose our parents as subject to our own good deeds before thinking of others? Our parents are those to whom we have one of the largest debts of gratitude. We can choose whether or not we have a spouse or children, but all of us have parents of whom we must take care. All through our childhood, we have been in debt to them, and even when adult, that debt is no less than it was when we were young. But how many children go to school thinking to study their hardest to their best, to pick up skills so that they can get a job, to pay their parents back for their kindness as soon as they complete their education? As soon as they get their first job, how many think of using their first wage to buy a present as a token of gratitude for their parents, and how many buy lipstick instead? So that's everyone. Now we begin to see the importance of why we should pay back the debt of gratitude to our parents. We will continue the answer to this in the next episode, Appreciating Our Debt of Gratitude, Part 2. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to help continue supporting us and share such valuable knowledge to your friends and loved ones. See you again next time.